Have you ever wondered why attraction can feel like a game where no one shows you the rules? Most men step into it guessing. They try to move carefully, hoping not to make a mistake, and they quietly assume they're missing something important. Looks, money, status, the perfect line. So they begin the journey already feeling behind, already convinced that other men know something they don't. But the truth is a little uncomfortable, and strangely freeing at the same time. You are not struggling because you lack value. You are struggling because you cannot yet see the rules that actually shape desire. You've been playing on hard mode, not because you're unworthy, but because you've been playing blind. Seduction has never been about pressure. It has never been about force, and it's certainly not about trying harder or speaking faster. Real attraction is about perception, not chasing emotion, but guiding it, not forcing desire, but allowing it to form in its own time. True power works the same way. It doesn't shout. It doesn't rush. Power is not doing more. Power is helping the other person feel something precise, without understanding why they feel it. Once you see that, female desire stops looking mysterious. Suddenly the chaos turns into pattern. Moments that felt random begin to make sense, and you finally understand why so many men burn themselves out in the same loop. They throw everything onto the table before anything has begun. They lead with effort instead of presence. The average man believes being pleasing creates attraction. He thinks approval is earned through explaining himself, through proving his worth, through always agreeing. But that behavior creates predictability, and predictability kills tension. So he starts shrinking to seem interesting. He over-explains to seem trustworthy. He reshapes himself to seem desirable. And with every tiny adjustment, he loses something vital. He loses depth. He loses gravity. He loses presence. The harder he tries to be accepted, the less there is to actually accept. There is a quiet mistake beneath all of this, a subtle self-sabotage that destroys attraction before it ever grows. It begins when men confuse attention with approval. A woman noticing you does not mean she wants you. It simply means you entered her awareness. But the needy man interprets "I noticed you" as "I choose you." And in that moment, everything shifts. He leaks intention. He leaks hunger. He leans forward emotionally before anything has been earned. He reveals his desire before she has even discovered hers. And that collapses the entire dynamic. The tension disappears. The mystery dissolves. The game is over before it truly began. Modern psychology sees the same pattern. When a man rushes to impress, it doesn't create safety. It creates doubt. Excessive eagerness signals fragility, dependency, low standards, and the female mind reads that as risk, not value. This is the truth many men avoid. When you look anxious to be accepted, you are instantly placed in a category. Too available, too easy, too predictable. But attraction is not born in predictability. It is born in contrast. Contrast between calm and chaos, between restraint and impulse, between self-control and desire. That is where masculine magnetism lives. This is why Stoic thinkers spoke so often about restraint, not repression, but the ability to feel without needing to react, to desire without chasing, to stand still when everything in you wants to lean forward. That inner discipline creates presence, and presence is felt long before a word is spoken. What you're hearing now isn't a trick. It's not a gimmick. It's a way of seeing. Desire starts before conversation, before jokes, before compliments. It begins in silence, in pauses, in the space you hold without filling it. It lives in your gaze, in your posture, in the way your energy shapes the room around you. A man who understands this never chases attention. He creates an environment where attention naturally moves towards him. He doesn't ask to be chosen. He becomes difficult to ignore. Most of seduction happens here, not in words, but in atmosphere. It is not acting. It is not performance. It is not pretending to be someone else. It is the psychology of presence, the art of reading emotion without overreacting to it, recognizing what builds desire and what quietly destroys it. When you understand these invisible rules, everything simplifies. What once felt complicated begins to feel obvious. Seduction was never impossible. Playing blind is what made it exhausting. Competing without structure drains you. Using tactics without awareness traps you. Stoicism was never about being numb. It was about seeing clearly, seeing reality without panic, acting without desperation, standing firm under pressure. That calm strength is not passive, it is magnetic. and today you begin to see the game as it truly is. This is the first fragment of the code, the foundation. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And from here, the real work begins in the next chapter. Before anything else, you have to face the psychological mistake that quietly destroys most men long before they realize what is happening. It does not look dramatic, it feels normal, and that is why it is so dangerous. Every man listening to this has felt it at some point. The exhaustion of giving everything and receiving almost nothing back. You talk more, you compliment more, you show interest early, you try to be kind, you try to be reliable, you try to be agreeable, you start shaping yourself into what you believe she wants, and yet something still collapses. The connection fades, the energy drops. What most men do not realize is that an invisible barrier has already formed, a barrier that suffocates attraction before it can breathe. That barrier is over-validation. Over-validation is silent self-sabotage. It turns a man into an anxious applicant asking for approval that was never requested. The moment you treat a woman like an unreachable prize, you place yourself beneath her emotionally, not in words, in energy, and energy is what she responds to first. You can rehearse confidence all you want, you can say the right things, you can smile at the right moments, but your emotional signal always arrives ahead of your words. It says, I need to be accepted, I am afraid to lose this, I am afraid to get this wrong. No woman feels desire for a man who, without speaking, is asking permission to exist next to her. That reaction is not moral, it is biological. Nature does not reward anxiety, it responds to stability. Women are extremely sensitive to emotional cost. They sense when a man brings calm, and they sense when a man brings chaos. Emotional neediness is not interpreted as devotion, it is interpreted as risk. Risk of drama, risk of instability, risk of an emotional weight she will have to carry, and instinctively, she steps back. This is why politeness alone never creates attraction, hard work alone never creates attraction, good intentions alone never create attraction. If your presence carries neediness, the female mind labels you as high effort and low return. That judgment happens in seconds. This is where most men misunderstand attraction. They believe attraction is a reward for effort. It is not. Attraction is a response to contrast, contrast between calm and urgency, between groundedness and need, between self-command and emotional hunger. This is where Stoicism quietly enters the picture, not as philosophy on a page, but as lived behavior. The Stoics did not teach suppression, they taught mastery. A Stoic man does not beg for outcomes, he does not cling to reactions, he does not collapse when desire is uncertain. He is emotionally self-contained, not closed, contained. When you are emotionally complete on your own, you stop trying to be chosen. You stand with weight, you move without rushing, you do not chase connection, and you do not run from it. This balance creates magnetism, because a man who does not seek immediate approval signals value without trying to. In the female subconscious, he is read as selective, grounded, stable, and stability feels rare. This is why the less you try to impress her, the more curious she becomes. The less you explain yourself, the more space you give her imagination to work. Silence, when grounded, is not awkward, it is powerful. The less you chase, the more she notices the distance closing on its own. This is not manipulation, it is alignment. Your internal state finally matches the emotional language her instincts understand. Presence matters more than performance, always has. Men with calm posture, steady breath, and relaxed movement are consistently judged as more attractive, not because they are louder, but because they are settled. Women do not only listen to what you say, they read how you occupy space, your rhythm, your stillness, your timing. A man who stands comfortably without forcing attention signals strength. A man who speaks slowly signals control. A man who pauses before answering signals confidence. Confidence is not speed, it is certainty. Stoic discipline shows up here in the smallest moments, in the breath you take before speaking, in the pause you allow before responding. This is strength under pressure, not aggression, not dominance for show. Before you say a single word, your presence has already spoken. Take a deep, grounded breath, align your posture. Make eye contact that is steady, not tense. Let your voice move at a calm rhythm, not rushed, not apologetic. These signals matter because attraction begins immediately, often within seconds. And within those early moments, 3 silent habits destroy everything: explaining too much, trying to please too soon, showing interest before it is mirrored. Remove these habits and your presence changes, not because you become cold, but because you become centered. When your center is solid, her perception shifts. You are no longer one of many. You rise above the majority of men who lose before anything even begins. This is the hidden architecture of desire, the structure beneath the emotion. Most men fail at the same predictable point. They start proving, they talk endlessly, they justify themselves, they explain who they are and why they matter. They believe attraction can be built with words, but excessive explanation does not build value, it exposes fear, and fear dissolves tension instantly. A Stoic man does not argue for his worth, he embodies it. He understands that dignity is not declared, it is felt. He lets others discover him at their own pace, because he is not afraid of being misunderstood. That quiet confidence is not arrogance, it is inner order, and inner order creates outer attraction. The feminine does not respond to long explanations, it responds to posture, it responds to emotional rhythm, it responds to how you place yourself in the dynamic, not how hard you try to impress. A man who embodies value will always outshine a man who explains value. Presence speaks louder than words ever will. This is where female tests come from. And no, they are not cruelty. They are not games meant to humiliate you. They are ancient emotional safety mechanisms. From a Stoic perspective, this makes perfect sense. Human beings test reality to see what holds firm under pressure. Women do the same, instinctively. She is not asking questions to hear answers. She is watching how you hold yourself while answering. She is scanning for one thing above all else: emotional stability, not excitement, not charm. Stability. That is why she provokes, why she challenges, why she contradicts. That is why she sometimes goes silent, why she observes without reacting, why she pauses and waits. This is not hostility, it is evaluation. She is testing the strength of your inner structure, not your words but your frame. Stoicism has always emphasized this idea. A man is revealed under pressure, not when things are easy. Small moments expose everything. A slight hesitation, a shift in tone, a rushed answer, a defensive reaction, a nervous laugh. She does not need a deep conversation to know if you crumble. She sees it in micro reactions, and the moment emotional fragility appears, attraction fades, not slowly, instantly. Here is the breakthrough most men never reach. Attraction is not built on predictability, it is built on controlled ambiguity. That does not mean confusion, it means depth. When you offer presence without urgency, when you are kind, but anchored by boundaries, when you are available, but never surrendered, when interest is felt, but need is absent, that combination creates contrast. Contrast creates tension, and tension creates curiosity. Curiosity is the first doorway to desire. A man who reveals everything at once loses leverage, not because he is honest, but because he removes mystery. A Stoic man understands restraint, not as denial, but as timing. He leaves space, he allows silence, he does not rush to fill every gap. When she cannot fully read you, her mind leans forward. She begins trying to understand you, and the moment she tries to understand you, she is already engaged. This is not manipulation, it is human nature responding to depth. Moderate unpredictability increases interest, not chaos, not games, natural variation, emotional texture. A man who is sometimes direct and sometimes reflective, sometimes silent, sometimes present. This rhythm holds attention. Her mind begins asking a quiet question. Is he solid? Is he a challenge? As long as that question exists, attraction stays alive. Applying this requires discipline, not tricks. Stoicism teaches this through self-command. Respond, do not react. When she pressures you for an immediate answer, pause, breathe, hold your ground. Silence is not weakness when it is calm, it is strength. Do not spike emotionally, do not seek approval, do not justify yourself. Above all, do not place yourself beneath her. A Stoic man positions himself as an option, not a beggar. An option does not persuade, it does not plead, it does not explain its worth, it simply exists with clarity, with firmness, with presence. When you embody this, she senses something rare, a man who does not ask permission, a man who does not collapse under emotional pressure, a man who remains himself when tested. That is the man she respects. That is the man she chooses. This is the level most men never realize exists. Now we move into something even deeper, the internal chemistry of attraction. One of the biggest traps today is not emotional, it is chemical. We live in a world of constant stimulation, messages, replies, notifications. Each one delivers a small reward, and without noticing it, a man becomes dependent. He starts confusing validation with connection. He mistakes replies for interest. He reads attention as desire. Slowly, he begins surviving on emotional crumbs. Those crumbs make him anxious, reactive, impatient. His timing collapses, his posture weakens, his instincts dull. He loses before the interaction even begins. A man who depends on micro rewards cannot lead, he gets led. Stoicism warns against this exact trap. Attachment to external approval weakens the soul. When your emotional state depends on her reaction, you surrender control. The female body responds differently. Emotional regulation creates safety. Safety activates attraction. The more stable your inner state, the more comfortable and stimulated she feels around you. This is not theory, it is biology. Women bond with men who regulate their energy. Men who do not swing wildly between excitement and collapse. Desperate intensity never creates desire. Consistency does. Here is the paradox. Deep attraction is not built through intensity. It is built through rhythm. The rise and fall of energy. The balance between silence and presence. A look held slightly longer. A pause before speaking. A calm voice after tension. This is soft dominance, not aggression, not coldness. Elegant self-command. The Stoics would call this mastery of self. Strength that does not announce itself. When your energy is regulated, her nervous system relaxes, and when it relaxes, attraction deepens. No spectacle is required, no theatrics, no performance, just internal order. And when your body supports what your presence already signals, the effect multiplies, posture aligns, breath slows, movement becomes precise. At that point, attraction is no longer forced, it is felt. In quiet moments, attraction is often decided before a word is spoken. Research has shown that small signals matter more than grand gestures. A slight forward lean, steady, relaxed eye contact, a calm pause before speaking. These tiny movements can shift interest in the very first seconds, not because they impress, but because they communicate stability. Stable body language tells her nervous system something important. This man is grounded. This man is present. This man is safe to feel around. Her mind begins sorting you instantly, not logically, instinctively, attractive or not, trustworthy or not. Repulsion is triggered by the opposite signals. Agitation, rushing, restless movements, micro signs of insecurity never go unnoticed, even when you think they are hidden. Applying this with precision changes everything. To modulate intensity is not to suppress yourself, it is to regulate yourself. Speak with an unhurried rhythm. Let your words breathe. Use your gaze as a bridge, not a request. A bridge invites connection. A plea asks for permission. Create just enough tension to draw her attention, never enough to signal need. A half second of silence before responding matters. It shows you are not scrambling for approval. It shows you are choosing your response. Shift naturally between solid presence and relaxed ease. This gentle movement creates depth. She begins to feel that you notice more, that you perceive subtleties, that you are not like most men. When you master this inner chemistry, you master your impact. And when you master your impact, desire follows. The man who understands invisible rules does not chase outcomes, he shapes conditions. Here is the truth many men avoid. Seduction was never about looks. It was never about clever lines. It was never about luck. It has always been about internal architecture. Stoicism understood this long before modern psychology. The quality of a man's inner world shapes his outer influence. Emotional control outweighs improvised charm. Restraint outperforms frantic effort. Calm rhythm defeats desperate intensity every time. There is a simple Stoic principle behind this. Inner order creates external direction. When a man governs his own mind, his body follows, his posture aligns, his movement slow, his energy settles. Women feel this shift before he ever speaks. Everything you have heard rests on a few core foundations, not techniques, principles. First, mastery over validation. You do not chase reactions. You do not trade stability for attention. A Stoic man does not beg to be chosen. He remains whole regardless of the outcome. Second, restraint over emotional predictability. You do not reveal everything immediately. You do not explain your worth. You allow discovery to happen naturally. Timing replaces urgency. Third, emotional rhythm over impulsive intensity. You guide the atmosphere. You do not flood it. Silence becomes a tool. Cadence becomes communication. This is not manipulation, it is discipline. When philosophers spoke about responsibility, they were not only talking about work or duty, they were talking about self-command. A man who governs himself becomes attractive without trying, because direction feels rare in a chaotic world. Women do not desire emotional storms, they desire steadiness. They do not desire excess, they desire mastery. Attraction is psychological before it is physical. It is energetic before it is verbal. In seconds, a woman can sense who stands firm within himself and who is still chasing approval. She will never explain it. She will never announce it. She simply feels it, and she either stays or she leaves. The masculine path is simple in concept, but it is never easy in practice. What you learn must become daily training. Every pause, every boundary, every choice made from calm authority. The average man reacts to life. The disciplined man shapes it. From this point forward, you decide how you move, blind and reactive, or aware and grounded. Before we finish, here is a simple test, a quiet one. When you begin a conversation, do not rush. Stand neutrally, ground your posture, hold steady eye contact, allow a small controlled smile. Then wait 1 full second before speaking. That single pause communicates volumes. It tells her you are not desperate. It tells her you are composed. In that moment, she senses a different tier of presence. Not louder, not flashier, calmer, stronger. Master this small ritual, and you step ahead immediately. Everything after that is refinement. The choice remains yours. Blend in with the many, or become the man who finally understands how the game is built.